Thanks to two lads from Manchester, this is what air traffic looks like over the Atlantic Ocean nowadays. And this is what it looked like up until 1919. This is the story of two men from Manchester that changed the world forever. That's Captain John Alcock on the right and Lieutenant Arthur Brown on the left. And if you look closely, that's Twinkle Toes and Lucky Jim in the middle. This is a story that everybody from my hometown knows. They were the very first to fly non-stop across the Atlantic Ocean. They lived just a few miles apart here in Manchester, but they wouldn't meet until after the First World War. John William Alcock was born on the 5th of November, 1892, at Basford Cottage, Seymour Grove, Old Trafford. His father was a coachman, and the family later moved to 6 Kingswood Road, Fallowfield. Everyone knew him as Jack. Young Jack was obsessed with engineering and mechanics, and built models of flying machines. Attended school at St. Thomas's. He took an early interest in flying. Work as a mechanic at the Brooklands Aerodrome led to his flight training. He was awarded a pilot certificate in 1912. Arthur Whitten Brown was born in Glasgow, Scotland, 23rd of July, 1886, to American parents. His father had been sent by Westinghouse to find a location for an electrical equipment factory, which was eventually built in Old Trafford, John Alcock's birthplace. The family settled at 6 Oswald Road, Chorlton-cum-Hardy. In 1914, Brown enlisted in the British Army and became an observer in the Royal Flying Corps. John Alcock flew one of these during the war, and while it looks like a marvelous machine, and indeed it was, nobody had flown for more than 8 hours or for 800 miles during the war. To cross the Atlantic, you would need to do 3 times that.
Welcome to Leicester's Field, St. John's, Newfoundland, where we're about to witness Alcock and Brown's heroic attempt to cross the Atlantic Ocean.
On the 14th of June 1919, at 1612 GMT, the wheels of Alcock and Brown's Vickers Vimy left the ground. It was a disaster. The takeoff was bumpy and treacherous. The radio failed. Fog overwhelmed the pilots, making navigation, conducted by sextant, next to impossible. Soon the plane was covered in ice. Sitting in an open cockpit, the men began to freeze. At times, Alcock lost control of the plane entirely, plunging towards the sea. Their engines stopped working. Several times, Brown had to climb out of the cockpit to clear ice from the plane. After nearly 16 hours and 1,880 miles over open water, only 20 miles off course, they spotted the coast of Ireland. Alcock chose a smooth-looking green field to land on, and at 8:40, after 16 hours and 28 minutes in the air, the Vimy touched down. Unfortunately, the field was actually a bog, and the nose sank quickly, throwing the tail into the air. They had survived fog, snow, and virtually continuous cloud to become the first persons to fly the Atlantic Ocean non-stop. Alcock and Brown were soon celebrated as heroes. They were met by huge crowds wherever they went. Dinners were held in their honor, and they were invested Knight Commanders of the Order of the British Empire by King George V in a ceremony at Windsor Castle. They had also won a prize of £10,000 from the Daily Mail, which was presented to them by Winston Churchill, the future Prime Minister. Although Alcock and Brown got the credit for the flight, it was a team effort, and they were quick to acknowledge their colleagues' contribution in a telegram. It reads, "Your hard work and splendid effort have been amply rewarded. We did not let you down." The pilots insisted that £2,000 go to the Vickers and Rolls-Royce mechanics who had prepared their airplane. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you want to see more like this, be sure to leave a comment.